In a busy town lived a 30-year-old baker named Daniel. He owned a small bakery from his late father. Daniel believed success came only from hard work. Every morning he woke at 2 a.m., mixed dough by hand, carried flour sacks himself, cleaned every tray alone, and stayed awake until night. His clothes were covered in flour, his hands were cracked, and his eyes were always tired. Yet even after working all day, his bakery earned only enough to survive. Across the street was another baker named Victor. He had a shop the same size, but he worked fewer hours. He arrived at 7 a.m., used mixers and timers, and had one helper during busy times. By afternoon he went home to rest with his family. Strangely, Victor's bakery sold more bread, more cakes, and had longer customer lines every morning. Daniel watched with confusion and growing frustration. One winter week, orders increased before a holiday. Daniel decided to work even harder. He slept only 3 hours, baked through the night, and rushed from one task to another. Because he was exhausted, he burned trays of bread, forgot customer orders, and dropped a cake while carrying it. On the third day, Daniel became dizzy and collapsed beside the oven. A doctor told him clearly, "Your body is overworked. Rest now, or you will become seriously ill." That night Daniel sat silently in his kitchen. "I give everything," he told his wife Emma. "Why am I still behind?" Emma held his hand and said, "Maybe effort is good, but maybe effort alone is not enough." Those words stayed in his mind. The next day, Daniel did something pride had stopped him from doing for years. He walked across the street and knocked on Victor's bakery door. Victor welcomed him kindly. Daniel looked around and saw neat shelves, organized tools, and calm workers. "Tell me honestly," Daniel said. "I work twice as long as you, but you earn more. What am I missing?" Victor smiled, picked up 2 knives, one blunt and one sharp. He handed Daniel the blunt knife and asked him to slice a loaf. It crushed the bread badly. Victor used the sharp knife and cut perfect slices in seconds. "You are working with a blunt knife," Victor said. "You use strength where skill would help more." Then he explained 3 lessons. First, use systems. My mixers save hours. My timers prevent mistakes. My shelves keep everything ready. He pointed around the room. Second, focus. I sell only the breads customers love most. You make too many items and waste time. Daniel listened carefully, feeling both embarrassed and hopeful. Third, Victor continued, rest is part of success. When I sleep well, I think clearly. I notice problems early and make better choices. A tired mind creates expensive mistakes. Daniel finally understood. He thanked Victor and returned home with a notebook full of ideas and a new way of thinking. The next week Daniel changed everything. He bought a used mixer instead of kneading by hand. He removed slow-selling items from the menu and focused on his best breads and cakes. He hired a student for morning deliveries. He cleaned and organized his kitchen so tools were easy to reach. Most importantly, he started sleeping 7 hours each night. For the first time in years, he ate dinner calmly with Emma. 3 months later, Daniel's bakery looked different. Orders were ready on time. Bread quality improved. Customers returned and brought friends. Daniel now worked 8 focused hours instead of 16 painful ones. His profits grew, but so did his health and happiness. He laughed more, stood straighter, and no longer dragged himself through the day. One evening Victor visited and tasted a fresh loaf. He smiled and said, "Now you understand. Hard work matters, but wisdom multiplies it." Daniel nodded. He had learned the truth many people miss. Being tired does not always mean being productive. Effort is valuable, but effort with strategy changes everything. Work hard, yes, but first make sure your knife is sharp.